Greetings, NEISD families. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Fernando Ruiz. I am the director of the Design and Technology Academy at Ed White, and on behalf of myself and my staff and all of the students at NEISD, I want to thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules to visit with us tonight to learn about our wonderful little academy that we have here at Ed White. We are NEISD's newest middle school magnet program. We are currently in our 7th year of existence. Our first class of data students are now seniors at Data High School, and they are doing fantastically well. One of the great things about being a member of the NEISD families is that when you go to middle school, you have choice. And the good news for you as parents is that you can't really make a bad choice because we have great comprehensive middle schools all over the district. But there's also some very special magnet programs around the district. Programs that look for kids that meet some specific criteria, that have a profile where they may not feel like they fit in anywhere else. They may have a very special interest, that they may be highly motivated. And the Design and Technology Academy is a great place for these kinds of students. Tonight we have a short presentation for you, followed by a Q&A session. You have the opportunity to ask any questions either during the presentation or during the Q&A session by utilizing the chat feature that you find on your YouTube channel there. This is a YouTube live event, and so there is an active chat feature there. We have students and teachers from the program who are monitoring the chat feature and will answer any questions that you have as we go through the presentation. Also, our teachers and students will be kind of feeding me those questions so that at the end, if those questions benefit everyone, I will be repeating them out and kind of reading out those answers and letting you know the answers to those questions if they weren't already answered in the chat. Thanks once again for joining us tonight. We look forward to providing you with the information to help you become better informed about where you want your student to spend their very formative, very important middle school years. And with that, we will begin our presentation. So we're here today to talk about your students' future. Not only their future in middle school, but their future in high school and in college and beyond. The Design and Technology Academy is focused on making sure that students are successful not only in school, but in life. Let's get started.
One of the great things about being part of the NEISD family is that when your students do go to middle school, they have some choice. And the good news for you as parents is that you really can't make a bad choice. There are great comprehensive middle schools all over the district. There's also some very special magnet programs around the district. And we're looking for students who are focused on their future, focused on a particular area of study, and focused on really making sure that they have every opportunity to be successful. At the Design and Technology Academy, our focus is on making sure students are truly prepared for the life that they will live in the 21st century. Now let's take a look at some of the things our sixth graders get to do the moment that they come into our program. So our students will be exposed to a wide variety of programs, including things like Photoshop. Here's them designing their own book covers. And of course, doing artistic things with photos. They learn a lot about 3D modeling, so they can visualize something inside their head and then use the computer to model it. They can then take those models and learn how to animate them out. All of the designs that you are seeing on the screen right now were done by sixth graders. They also start to develop that artistic and creative side. Here's them designing their own emojis and their own characters. They can then take those characters and learn how to animate them. And then they can take those animations that they made and learn how to green screen themselves into those animations using the same kinds of technology they use in Hollywood. They get to learn how to design and play their own video games. And we do a lot of 3D printing. So what is data? The Design and Technology Academy is a magnet program that focuses on coding, modeling, and visualization. And we'll talk about those three things and how they affect the technology world around them. It's really great because when your students do get into high school, they will have to earn at least 28 high school credits in order to graduate from high school. Well, while they're at data, they can earn a minimum of 5.5 high school credits while they are still in middle school. If they are in the HAM program, the Hyper Accelerated Math program, they can earn up to 7.5 high school credits before they get to high school. This is more than about 90% of all incoming freshmen across the district. And we are aligned directly with the Design and Technology Academy at Theodore Roosevelt High School. What that means is that if our students decide to stay in the program, they're not required to be in the program all the way through high school, but if they decide they have found their passion and they want to continue with the program, they gain automatic admission into the high school program. So people ask me all the time, what's different about data? And there are two parts to that answer. The first part is about our focus on technology that we will talk about in just a little while. You know, we have great state-of-the-art computer labs. We have some great toys for the kids to play with. We have problem-based learning lessons across the grade levels. We are able to collaborate as teachers more effectively because we have small teams of teachers that work on a grade level. We have fantastic class size. Our overall class size is 21 to 1, and most of our classes run between 17 and 20 22 to 1. You won't see a data class bigger than 25. All of those things are fantastic reasons to choose data. But what really defines us as a program is our focus on long-term student success. Whether they are in math class or science class or social studies class or language arts class, whether they are in their technology classes, we will make sure that we are focused on what we call the 6 C's. While students are with us, we are focused on building their character. We think character development is really important to student success. They will learn to be contributing citizens. We're focused on citizenship. Our students are required to do community service at each grade level, and our students participate in food drives and visit veteran shelters and do a lot around the school and around the community to promote citizenship. We're going to help develop their communication skills. We know that an effective communicator is essential to success in the workforce. We're going to teach them how to collaborate effectively, both in small and large groups. We're going to give them lots of opportunity for individual creativity, and we're going to make sure that they leave us with awesome critical thinking skills. We know that by focusing on these 6 C's, we are developing students who are going to be successful in high school and in college and beyond. Now, why come to a program that focuses on computers and computer-related skills? Well, the reality is that right now, there are tens of thousands of open computing jobs all over the city and state. Hardly a day goes by nowadays where you don't hear about some technology company relocating to Texas. The hard part is, for those companies, they may sometimes have a difficult time hiring Texans for those jobs, not because they don't want to, but because there aren't enough Texans that have the skills that they need in order to fill those jobs. Now, the average salary in San Antonio is about $49,000 a year, but the average salary for computing jobs in and around San Antonio is almost double that, about $82,000 a year. By focusing on these skills, we can see we're helping close the gap that exists between students who are enrolled in computer-related studies in high school and the number of computer-related jobs that are available when they get out of high school. Now, coding is that language that we use to make computers do what they want them to do. And when students come to data, they're going to learn several different computer languages and coding languages. Modeling is when we create digital versions of real-world or original design objects in the computer. And visualization is when they use their imagination, they can see things in their head, and then they use the computer to design it, to get it ready for print or putting on the web or video distribution. And by focusing on coding, modeling, and visualization, our students get to do some amazing things. For instance, our students learn how to design their own movies, their own web pages. They get to design and play their own video games. They work with lots of different computer programs. They do 3D prints and animation. Believe it or not, our students even get to learn how to develop their own mobile smartphone apps that actually run right on an Android phone. We have industry partners that come in to mentor our kids, and they tell me all the time that the things that our students are learning to do now in middle school, they really didn't get to learn to do until they got to college. Our students come to us because they love tech. And at the Design and Technology Academy, we are loaded with tech. We have more technology per student than any other place in the district. Most elementary schools have 1 or 2 computer labs, and 5th graders might get to go there once a week or once a month. Sometimes fifth graders, their only exposure to the computer lab is walking by it on their way to the cafeteria. At Data, we have 6 computer labs that are all state-of-the-art, including a full Mac lab, and our students will go work in those computer labs during class twice a day, every day that they're in the program. We have Chromebooks and iPads in every classroom, Android tablets for them to run their apps on. We have 3D printers at every grade level. We have these high-definition interactive screens in all of our classes. In addition to that, we have added, thanks to the generosity of our parents during the Big Give, our very own escape room, where during classes, teachers develop lessons so that students go in there. They have to find clues to be able to escape the room. And all of our grade levels get to use that escape room. In addition to that, thanks to a very generous grant from Marathon Petroleum, who gave us $20,000 to build our own broadcast studio, we are now able to give students the experience that they need, not only in how to be in front of the camera and show effective communication skills, but to be behind the camera and learn how to do everything that goes on there as well. But to me, that's not the best part of who we are. I told you in the beginning that our district has great middle schools all over the district. They're also huge. The average middle school in any ISD takes between 300 and 600 fifth graders into their program each year. And the number one reason that students are sometimes reluctant to come to Data is because we have such great elementaries, and they, in their minds, want to go where their friends are going. What they don't realize, because of the size of our middle school, is that they will be lucky to have 1 or 2 of their friends from elementary in 1 or 2 of their classes. Middle school is a time for new experiences and new connections. But at Data, we have a very close family environment because we only take 150 kids from across the district. And those kids take all of their core classes and their tech classes, all of their data classes together as a cohort. So they really get to know each other really well. Their teachers really get to know them really well. And it leads to that close family environment that we have. You also don't give anything up by coming to Data. So if a student wants to be in art or band or choir or orchestra or theater arts or any of the other electives that are offered across the district, if they want to play football or basketball or volleyball or any of the other sports that are offered across the district, they get to do that in Data. Plus, they get to take classes and do things that no one else in the district gets to do because they are part of a magnet program. Some of the benefits of joining Data: all of our classes are taught at the honors level. That means academically, we're really getting you ready for student success. They get automatic admission to the Data program at Roosevelt High School if that's where they choose to go for high school. Our parents and students don't even need to worry about having to drive all the way over to Data Ed White each day to drop their students off, because transportation is provided by shuttle buses to and from Data from their home middle school campus every day. So a shuttle bus will show up at every single middle school before school starts. We'll pick students up and then we'll drop them off back at the home middle school at the end of the day. We partnered with industry to make sure that what we're teaching is truly aligned to industry standards, and so we've worked with St. Philip's College, Rackspace, GeekBus, and several other agencies to make sure that what we're doing is truly preparing our students for the world beyond Data. We also want to make sure that our students are learning in a fun and innovative way. For instance, the student in the upper left-hand corner is on a virtual reality field trip using VR goggles. Yes, those students are completely taking apart and putting back together a very expensive computer to learn how a computer works. We have students doing a virtual lab a virtual breakout room towards the lower right-hand side. Even in our science class, the students in the upper right-hand corner are doing a speed lab called the Zombie Apocalypse, where they're measuring how fast they would have to go to escape a zombie. We are going to make sure that your students are learning at high levels, but we're also going to make sure that we're doing it in a fun and innovative way. In addition to that, we want to make sure that your students are getting the full middle school experience. We receive students from all across the district. There is not a middle school program that is not, a middle school cluster that is not represented in our program. And so we have opportunities for students to connect with each other and with their teachers. We have 25 different clubs and organizations. We have an awesome chess club. We have a fantastic debate team. We have an arts and crafts club and an anime club and a book club. We also have outstanding tech clubs like our animation club and our 3D printing club. We have a fantastic award-winning Cyber Patriots team and a Coder Pals club who go to mentor fifth graders in coding across the district. We want your students to have that full middle school experience while they are with us, because middle school is about new friends and new experiences. Now, in order to come to data, students have to meet the minimum qualifications. The first thing that we're going to look at is their fourth grade STAR. Students had to have passed their fourth grade STAR. Because of the pandemic issues that we faced last year, some students did not take their fourth grade STAR, and that's okay. This year, the district is allowing me to look at their MAP scores that they took at the beginning of the year that predicts whether they would have passed the fourth grade STAR. Students who are applying from out of the district or from out of state can send those their standardized test scores to me via email or on the application. Students also have to maintain an academic average of at least 85. That does not mean they need an academic average of 85 in every class. It means when I average together your math, your science, your social studies, and your language arts, the average of those 4 courses has to be at least an 85. We also need students who are going to follow the student code of conduct. We do so many fantastic things at Data that I need students who are going to be in class and not sitting in my office, and so that means excellent behavior and excellent attendance. Now, in order to apply, you go to the Northeast ISD webpage and you click on schools. After you click on schools, you click on middle. Once you click on middle, you scroll down until you find design and technology at White. You click on our campus website, click on the application process webpage at the top, and then fill out the application form. It only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to fill out the form. Now, academically, we do fantastically. Last year, despite the pandemic, in reading for 6th grade, 96% of our kids passed the STAR and 88% of our math. 33% were at Masters for reading and 9% were at Masters for math. In 7th grade, we did even better. In reading, they were at 98, 91, and 94 for reading, math, and writing, respectively, with a master's rate of 53, 10, and 18. In 8th grade, they were at 98% for reading, 97% for math, 78% for social studies, and 96% for science. And their master's rate was outstanding with a 36% for reading, 42% for algebra, 18% for social studies, and 42% for science. When compared to both NEISD and the state, we can see that for middle school, the number of students in the state of Texas that passed all of their tests last year was 66%. 40% were at meets and 18% were at masters. NEISD was actually right in line with state scores. where 66% were at approaches, 39% were at meets, and 19% were at masters. At data last year, for all of our students on all of their tests, 93% of them passed all tests, 64% were at meets, and 29% were at masters. Our students did outstanding despite the pandemic, whether they were learning online or at home last year, or in person last year. For reading, 67% for the state were at approaches, 43% were at meets, and 18% were at masters. District did a little better in reading than the state last year, and this is where we were at data, 98, 77, and 42. For math, state, district, and data. For writing, state, district, and data. For our science scores, our students did really well. For our algebra, they did outstanding, state, district, and data. And for our social studies scores, state, district, and data. Now, you've heard a lot from me about our program. Let's hear from some of our students.
The classes here are fast-paced, but you don't fall behind because the teachers offer you support if you need it.
I loved being one of the Ridge reporters at Canyon Ridge Elementary. Now I'm at Data behind the camera learning video editing.
I truly believe Data is the best magnet program I could have went to. We're learning software that we could use for future jobs.
I was actually mostly worried about the bus ride from Bush Middle School, but I've made a lot of friends to talk to and I hardly noticed the drive.
I'm fascinated by 3D design, and Data gives you so many opportunities to do just that. I mean, they have a 3D printer available for every grade level.
What I've noticed is that the teachers are always open to new ideas, and the classrooms provide a very positive place to work.
When I was younger, and before I came to Data, I was not comfortable with technology. But with the help of both my teachers this year, I understand more every day.
We have some really fun opportunities here that I might not get anywhere else, like the after-school clubs I'm in, robotics, and the 3D Everything Club.
I love Data because my teachers are super kind. They really care about me and my future. Also, I can't wait for Board Game Club to start.
My dream job is to become an animator, and I know I'm still young, but I'm already learning a lot in my multimedia class.
I was kind of stressed about my grades at this accelerator program, but the teachers offer lots of tutoring and extra credit.
We do offer the KINS After School program. One of the advantages of being part of a magnet program is that when you join KINS at Data Ed White, you can participate both at your home middle school campus and at Data Ed White. That's an advantage for students who may take the bus back to their home middle school campus. They can get off the bus and then, report to the home middle school campus for KINS. Or if they have a club or after school activity, they can get out of their club or activity here at Data Ed White and report to KINS here and wait for you to pick them up. A great advantage there. We do have a dress code at Data. It is a Data t-shirt with a Data logo, student designed. Most parents buy 5 different colors and that becomes their uniform for the week. We do have an open house coming up on January the 13th here at Data Ed White in the evening. You can view our website at the NEISD main page to get details on that. Our application deadline is February the 7th. you can apply after that, but any application comes in after February 7th will automatically be put at the bottom of our wait list. And we will hold the lottery the following week. Email notifications will be sent out as to whether you were accepted or placed on the wait list on February the 25th. So last year we accepted about 150 students. So we had over 500 applicants. And so make sure that you get your application in. My best advice to parents is, if you're on the fence, apply. You can always say no, but many times students see people get accepted at their home campus and see how excited they are, and then apply after the deadline, and then they're way down on the wait list. We will look at your most recent STAR or MAP scores if there is no STAR scores, and we will accept students from the waiting list even after the school year begins until every seat is filled. We do have shadowing days. There is one left, but it is filled right now. If you're interested in shadowing, you can call to get on our wait list. If there are any cancellations, we will be sure to give you a call and let you know. And so now it's your turn. We're going to go back to my live feed so that you can see my face, and I will answer any questions that you have.
So we got some really good questions in the chat bar that I'd like to begin to address. Let me talk first about there was a question about the differences between data and KSAT and STEM. And there's a lot of similarities where our program structures are the same. We have our own core teachers, math, science, social studies, language arts. We have our own career and technology education teachers that focus on what the charism of that campus is. Those things are the same. And this question comes up quite a bit. What is different about data? And in some ways, it's a really easy question to answer, and in some ways, it's a very deep and somewhat difficult question to answer. But I'm going to give it a good shot. So the easy answer, our focus on technology and all aspects of technology. One of the great things about our program is that the skills in the technology world that our students are learning are applicable across many disciplines. Think about today's 21st century learner. The reality is that there is not a field out there, a professional field out there, where knowledge of the digital world isn't going to serve you. Mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, you and I are digital immigrants. I grew up in a world that had green dot matrix screens, and the video game that I had at home was Atari, and I played Pong. These kids don't know a world without Windows, and the technology skills that a 3-year-old has are more than the technology skills that I had when I graduated from high school. And so the technological aspects that focus on technology, the fact that our kids take 2 tech classes each year that they're with us, that they develop a wide range of digital skills, that's one big part of who we are. But the deeper answer actually doesn't have anything to do with technology. It is our mission and our vision. We want to make sure that we're focused, as you saw earlier in the slides, on those 6 C's. We develop excellent citizens with strong character who are highly creative, good critical thinkers, very collaborative with each other, and in the end can communicate effectively in whatever medium that they're in. That focus on the 6 C's leads to success in all of their classes and gives them skills that we know will serve them in high school and in college and in the real world. And so when people ask what sets us apart, to me, and my vision as the leader of this program and the vision of our teachers who developed our vision statement in collaboration with each other and with me, is to make sure that we're giving these students the skills that they need in order to be successful, not just in school, but in life. I hope that answers your question. Let's talk about the application and lottery process, because that question came in as well. So first of all, you can't get into not only data, but any of the magnet programs without applying first. You can do that through our website at neisd.net/datams, or through the district website by going to the main page, scrolling down, clicking on the button that says 11 magnet programs and 3 magnet schools. There'll be an application link there. You can apply to one. It's a common app, so you can apply to one or all of the magnets using a single application. Going back over how the process works. So the first thing that happens is that on February 7th at midnight, the application closes. All of the kids who applied prior to that, as you applied, you were assigned a random number. That number was assigned to you by the system that takes in the applications. Then I take that list and I sort the qualified applicants out. Remember, to qualify, you have to have at least an 85 average of your core classes. You had to have had nothing major on your discipline file and have a passing score either on your STAR test if you took it, or on your MAP test if you did not take the STAR. Those kids are then sorted by home middle school campus. Our program reflects the diversity of our students from across the district. So we have a process that brings that diversity into the program. So we put all of the kids from whose home middle school would be Bradley on one list, and Bush on another list, and Ed White on another list. So I end up with about 15 lists, because we also count the people who are not within the district on a separate list. So then I determine the number of seats that I have available. We have a hard cap of 150 students per grade level per year, but we do give priority seating to siblings whose older brothers and sisters are already in the program. We do our best to keep families together once a student is enrolled in the program. They still have to meet all of the qualification requirements, but they are pulled out first. And on average, from year to year, it's been about 30 seats. So let's say I have 120 seats. Well, I also know that all of those applicants, because it's a common application, we're really not the first choice of every student who applies. And so I know that there's going to be no's in that first round. So I will pull, let's say I have 120 seats, I will pull about 150 applicants in that first round. That's about 10 applicants per middle school group. And I will sort each of those lists in order by that random number. The first 10 in that example that I gave will be the ones who get the email that says, congratulations, you've been accepted at the Design and Technology Academy. If you'd like to accept your spot, please click here. Parents have 1 week to decide. After 1 week, we'll assume that you're turning down your slot. If you hit yes, then you will gain acceptance. If you hit no, it doesn't remove you from any of the other lists, from any of the other middle schools, but it means that I have now an opening that I can fill with someone from the wait list. So I will go through that first round. Any student who did not get in on the first round now gets taken off of those home middle school lists and put on a separate list. And then that list is resorted by that random number. That wait list, it doesn't matter what middle school that you came from. What matters is the random number that you were assigned when you applied. That is the number that you are on the wait list. So as soon as I start to get people declining their spot, I go to my wait list and I will go to the first person on the list. I will make 2 phone calls. I will call once. If no one answers, I will call one more time, and then I will move back to the next person on the list and offer them the slot until all 150 slots are filled. We usually take between 130 and 150. I hope that answers your question. The next question that I got was, do we send a confirmation that the application was received? The system does send a confirmation email if you put everything correctly and you completed the email or you completed the application correctly. Then the email that you listed as the primary contact will send you a confirmation email that says thank you for applying. It also, do not throw that out, because it also has a link on there for you to go in and update any information that is incorrect or mistaken in that email or in that application. For instance, let's say you already applied to STEM as an example, and then you came to my presentation and you said, you know what, this is a great consideration. I think we want to apply there. You can go back into the application and just click on the button and re-add me. You don't have to submit a second application. The question that we got was, what do we mean by a good place for kids who don't seem like they fit in all the time? Well, what we have found, we have a very well-rounded group of students, but we also tend to get kids who might, who have unique interests of some kind. They like video gaming, or they like playing Dungeons and Dragons, things that, the average middle schooler might not be totally interested in. And then they come here and they find other kids with like interests, and they find a voice, and they find a place. We have kids of all stripes here. We have athletes, and we have artists, and we have programmers, and we have gamers. We have kids that, love to read, and we have kids that love to be outside. There really isn't a group of students who aren't represented. What we have found is that they find in a place like this students who have common interests. And so we help them make connections so that we can develop those 6 C's that I talked about earlier. Let's see if we have any other questions. So it looks like that's all the questions that were in the chat. Unless something comes in at the last second, I want to say thank you so much for coming in. If you have any other questions, because I know, if you're like me, you're going to get one of those way homers. You get offline, and the minute that you click off, you're going to say, oh, I should have asked this question. You can email me or call me at the data office. My email is fruiz@neisd.net, or you can call the data office at 210-356-5981. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for choosing to learn more about our program. And thank you so much for choosing the Northeast Independent School District.